Hi YouTube. I spent the morning cleaning my shop, well, as much as I ever do, and I thought it would be a perfect time to give the obligatory shop tour. So here we go. I'm going to cover the island first. First, up in the air, I've got a rack, half-used pieces of pretty much everything, metal tubing, PVC tube pipe, everything you need. You can never get rid of all this stuff. Got a table saw. I like this saw because of the extended table. This is my second one of this particular brand. I think I like the first one a little bit better. It was a little smoother in operation, but this is what I got now. On the left, there's a stick welder, AC/DC stick welder, and I used to have a nice wire welder, but a gecko decided to make a nest on the motherboard, and the eggs hatched and melted all over the motherboard and blew the thing up. So now I use the old trusty Tombstone, and I like it a lot. I'm not good at it, but I'm good enough. You know, perfection is the enemy of the good. So, and going around the outfeed table, I have my 8-foot sheet metal bending brake. I can bend 8 feet of 16th inch aluminum, make aluminum corners, make shelves with turned down edges. I've got this hydraulic jack down there on the left, and I want to make a press brake on the bottom there. I've got 2 big I-beams. I think it's an ideal place to make a press brake, but I haven't gotten to that yet. I might get to it. Going around to the back side of the table saw, I welded this table, and I had a friend, Yvonne, who gave me a bunch of, as he called it, scrap teak, and I made a table, and I put a router in it with a linear actuator, and I can raise and lower in increments of a little bit. These are very, very precise increments of a little. Going around a little bit more. I made this miter saw stand, and on the ends I have these extensions I put on. I can get them out of the way if I want them out of the way, and I put extensions on each end, so I can go like that, and I can put a 16-inch wide piece of plywood or long board. So that's nice. They slide out of the way. Holding the whole mess down is the drawer unit. Hand tools, pretty much organized. 50, 60 years of accumulated stuff. These drawers are so heavy, but they're wide. So what I did was I made 2 drawers, drawer slide. Then I hooked them together with the front drawer front. This is sockets, open end box wrenches. Bottom drawer, I have a nice collection of 1/4 inch stainless steel nuts, bolts, screws, washers. But it's all stainless because rust is a bugger here in Panama. Here's terminals. I love these. I discovered them, threw away almost all my you know what I'm trying to say. I don't even remember the name of them anymore, but these replace the screw-on wire nuts. There you go. Yeah, you got it, Fred. So the lever lock, you just lift the lever, one-handed, yeah, sure, with the phone in my hand. Lift the lever, push the wire in, push it down. Any size wire. But I like those a lot. Miscellaneous screws, shrink wrap, tubing, 6 and 8, electrical screws, lots of stuff. There's the rack up on the ceiling. I got a vacuum system in here, but right now it's kind of anemic. We'll get to that. Going around if I don't trip over Gaston here. Okay, going around the perimeter, I have a metal lathe, a typical Chinese metal lathe. This metal lathe is very, very special to me. I don't use it a lot, but I do use it to turn aluminum, brass rod, turn shapes on it. This lathe belonged to my friend Ivan, and he died about 4 or 5 years ago. I miss him terribly. He's a wonderful Panamanian. He and his wife worked in the city. He was a lawyer. She, I think, is in business. But when he died, I bought this from Julieta. Ivan and Julieta, wonderful, wonderful Panamanians, about my age. Many weekends they'd come out here to the mountains, and he would work in his wood shop. He was a master craftsman. He made beautiful furniture, just gorgeous, elegant furniture. And many Sunday mornings, Julieta would call and she'd say, "Fred, we have a couple extra open seats at the restaurant this morning." So Cynthia and I would walk over, about 5 houses away. We'd walk over to their house and have breakfast. Ivan was the cook. He made quite a spread for breakfast. At the time, I was a vegetarian, a 35-year vegetarian, and he'd say to me, he spoke very good English, but it was heavily accented, and he'd say, "You're a vegetarian?" I'd say, yeah, Ivan, I am. He said, "You believe that bullshit?" And I did at the time. I don't anymore. I just eat meat now. So that's another story. So I've got a lot of accoutrements that go with it. Down here on the floor, I've got a 50-year-old bucket of hole saws, rusty hole saws. On the floor, I've got a DeWalt air compressor, pop rivets, chain, pipe threading tools, Rockwell dovetail jig, Fuji HVLP sprayer, pipe clamp parts, ram set, various sundries, car cleaning, maintenance stuff, Honda maintenance parts, plumbing box, another plumbing box, heavily on the garden hose repair because the sun destroys the garden hoses here. Spray gun for the Fuji, heat gun, miscellaneous hammers and saws. Got a 5-gallon bucket of extra grout that's gradually hardening in the bag, battery charger, and a Tidy Cat box of lubricants. Next, around the perimeter, I have the shorts, the cutoffs, short spin, and I could organize this twice a day, I think. It's always in a scramble and always spilling out. Here I have an old Delta Rockwell wood lathe. I bought this when I was 16 or 17. I worked in a ice cream sandwich shop, and I made 50 cents an hour, and I bought this lathe with the money, $310.87. I also, with my mother's cosign, I bought a 1967 BSA 650 Lightning. Nice red British motorcycle. I had that for many, many, many years. Sold it just before we moved here. Panama's no place for motorcycles, in my opinion. 100-some people were arrested for drunk driving this weekend, so the roads are not the safest for motorcycles. A rack of rusty clamps. Here in the mountains, the humidity, the dew point gets low enough and everything rusts. Next, around the perimeter, have this bench I made underneath. This is the rusty drill bit department. This set of Forstner bits was Yvonne's. Cheap Chinese junk, but I cherish it. Here I have a set of Norseman oversized twist drills, where they go up to an inch, half inch to an inch, half inch, 5/8, 1 inch. I think it was $100 or so. Well worth it. They're gradually rusting, but they stay nice and sharp. Other drill bits, brad point bits. Underneath, I got a box of zip ties. You can't live in Panama without zip ties. Electrical sundries, electrical parts, copper plumbing parts, PEX tubing parts, a couple of electrical snakes. Here I've got a fairly new DeWalt, let's call it an earth shaker. It rattled so badly I had to trash the DeWalt wheels that it came with and buy some quality wheels, grinding wheels, and bolt it down. But when that thing winds up, it wants to dance. And I got a nice welding helmet, battery chargers. These are nice. These are clamping angles for welding, made by Fireball Tools. They're really nice. I've got an adjustable one. Cynthia gave me these for Christmas. Underneath here, I've got miscellaneous hand tools, miscellaneous stuff. Down here, I've got a drawer of old coconut oil jars that have techo roofing screws, 1 inch to 4 inch, and drywall gypsum. It's called gypsum here, 1.25 up to 3 inch. And I've Liha is sandpaper. So I got the
the orbital sander 8120. I got some plastic tube ends for 3/4, 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch metal tubing. More sandpaper discs, various stuff going around the perimeter. I have this, I used to have my grandfather's, I didn't talk about my grandfather's drill press. I used to have my grandfather's bandsaw, but it died, so I bought this Delta. This is almost 20 years old now, I guess. Back over to Grandpa Fred's drill press. This is a Delta Milwaukee Homecraft. And I remember as 6-year-old boy, I'd go down into his basement and he'd give me an 1.5 inch paintbrush. I inherited that paintbrush and just had to toss it a year or two ago. It fell apart. But he'd give me a paintbrush and I would dust everything off and clean all his tools. The table saw, he had a convertible table saw. It wasn't a shopsmith, but it had a jointer and a table saw and something else on it. I don't remember. But I would clean all of his tools. And this wooden handle, my grandfather worked in a dry cleaning and cold storage shop, and in those days cash register tapes came on a wooden spool, and this is one of the wooden spools from his company Swiss Cleansing in Providence, Rhode Island. Various stuff hanging on the wall. 4x4 foot aluminum 90-degree angle, track saw, track, bandsaw, and this Makita. This Makita thickness planer. I'll tell you, this has been a champion. I've had it, I don't know, 25, 30 years. I've never sharpened the blades. They're beautiful. There's no nicks or anything in it. I use it frequently for tropical hardwoods. Speaking of tropical hardwoods, I got a little bit left from Yvonne's collection. I see a piece of Purple Heart here that is just yelling out for a project. Underneath, I got various steam trays because the termites don't get them and the rust doesn't get them. Craig pocket hole jig stuff. I got a pocket hole jig on the side here. Got the 20-year box of, well, you know exactly what's in here. Large bolts and various stuff. Screws. Yeah, this is my special rusty screw department. And this is the rusty bolt department. I'm happy that I have that stainless steel 1/4 inch bolt. I think I go from 1/2 inch on up to 3 inch bolts, stainless steel bolts. This is the, another oldie but goodie Milwaukee chop saw, metal chop saw. Had it for many, many years. In this box in the stand is a massive winch that we used on a former housing project, but that went to belly up. So maybe someday somebody will want to pay me $2,500 for this winch. Here I have my DIY. There's plans all over YouTube. Cyclone sawdust collector, an incredibly underpowered Westinghouse vacuum, which it makes a lot of noise. I'll give it credit for that. Up here I got a couple of jack stands and 100 feet or so of heavy wire for the welder so I can get out to the fence line and weld. And this is the workbench that I made just before we came here. I needed a way to ship my my small hand power tools. So this workbench, it's got electricity in it. And if I can do this without falling over the dead dog, he's a good boy. He barks a lot, but he's a good boy. This is my power tool drawer. Everything that's standard impact drill. Whoops, how did that happen? No, we didn't want that to happen either. That didn't want to happen. There we go. 9-inch angle grinder, 4.5-inch angle grinder, Sawzall, portable saw, Milwaukee metal saw, track saw, various routers and stuff in the back. When I was contracting carpentering many years ago, I had this drawer hardware in my 87 Toyota van, a four-wheel drive Toyota van. I loved that van. And I had a drawer that I could put all my tools in there and lock them up and then pile stuff on top of it, pile junk on top of it. So that's pretty much my shop. Couple of squares. These DeWalt squares are pretty nice. Rusty 40-year-old square on the wall. And let's see. Oh yeah, I think I built this air hose reel. Swivels around if I can see where I'm going through the camera. And this is Flexzilla brand hose, not sponsored. Flexzilla, I like the Flexzilla stuff. It's really nice quality. Nice quality. Nice spring on the trigger. Highly recommend it. And I think that's it. A little place for rusty putty knife department and miscellaneous paintbrushes and such. And down below here, I have two. You can't see them. They're Westinghouse brand, the blue plastic. That the handles fall apart. I had to make new triggers for them. Various things fall apart on them pretty rapidly. The power is not bad, but they're pretty marginally built. I think their price point, like the old Harbor Freight tools, which are a lot better now, but these things are price point for the homeowner that uses them once.
But I've got them so I can haul them up on the roof and pressure wash the roof. So I think that's the complete tour of my recently pretty much cleaned shop. Dog. Hey. Hey. Are you able to animate? There he goes. Can you wag your tail? Yeah. Good boy. Okay, with that, I'm out. Thanks for watching, YouTube.